The ancient Romans were polytheists. That means they believed in multiple gods. That's very different from most of our major world religions of today who believe in one all-powerful deity. By contrast, the Roman idea of the unseen was more like parliament. In a parliamentary system of government, you have Minister of Trade, Minister of Education, Minister of Health. Well, the ancient Romans had a god of the sea, a goddess of wisdom. They had a god and a goddess of love because that's a portfolio way too important to trust to just one deity. And they even had a god of today's topic. They had a god of transitions. Actually, they had a god of beginnings, endings, and transitions. And his name was Janus. That's Janus. I learned 5 very interesting things about Janus, and I thought you might like to hear them too. The first interesting thing is that his name is pronounced Janus, not Janus. Both Oxford and Merriam-Webster agree that his name rhymes with heinous. Now, spoiler alert, somewhere around point number 3, you are really going to wonder why his name is not pronounced Janus. The second interesting thing is that his temple in Rome was open during times of war and closed during times of peace. That actually makes sense when you realize he is the god of transitions. When things are going badly, that's exactly when you want people praying for change. When things are going well, that's when you let sleeping gods lie. The third neat fact about Janus is that because he was the god of transitions, he also had dominion over doorways and hallways. Think about that for a minute. If you ask me where the bathroom is, I would say, go out that door, go all the way down the hall, and look for it on your left. The doorway and the hallway are nothing but transitions between this place and the next place. Because of that, today, the people who look after our doorways, hallways, and portals, they're named after Janus. We call them janitors. And hey, speaking of things named after Janus, perhaps you got ahead of me on this one, the fourth interesting fact about Janus is that the month of January is named in his honor, because January is the end of one year, the beginning of another year, and it functions as the transition between them. And the fifth cool thing about Janus is that every time he's depicted in Roman artwork, he has 2 faces. Not 2 heads. 2 faces on the same head. Kind of like that. You see, because Janus is the god of beginnings, endings, and transitions, he is always looking in 2 different directions at the exact same time. And doesn't that perfectly sum up how you go through the month of January? Looking forward at the year to come, and at the exact same time, looking back at the year that was. You may be spending this January looking back at the year that was and lamenting the fact that you made a very sad transition into the next belt hole. But at the same time, you're looking forward at the year to come, making plans how to get some of those carbohydrates out of your life and get some more exercise in. And perhaps if you're a speaker, you're looking back at the year that just went by and realizing you haven't progressed very much. You haven't worked on your speaking skills at all. You are pretty much the same speaker you were 52 weeks ago. But here's the good news. You're looking forward to an upcoming year, and you can make some plans about how you can improve your speaking skills, what you can do to become a better speaker. What? I got something on my face? What are you looking at? And speaking of speaking, transitions are quite possibly the most underrated tool in a speaker's utility belt. Oh sure, you got your opening, you got your closing, and you got your 3 big points you want to make. But are you moving smoothly between those points? Or are you giving your audience whiplash every time you jump from one point to the next? You see, transitions are a lot like referees at a hockey game. When you don't notice them, that's exactly when they're doing their job perfectly. I'll show you what I mean. Or perhaps I should say, I have shown you what I mean. You see, you've been listening to me for the last 6 minutes or so, and in those 6 minutes you've heard me talk about Roman mythology, janitors, obesity, speaking skills, and hockey referees. Those are 5 topics that don't belong in the same room together, much less the same 6-minute monologue. But did it feel jarring? Or did it feel like everything just kind of flowed together? That's the power of strong transitions. And speaking of bad transitions, let me tell you about my website. See what I did there? Keep it tuned here to lastrites.com for more speaking tips and the occasional discussion about word origins. That's last-writes.com. And if you sign up for my email list or follow me on social media, you'll be alerted when new videos come out. And together we, that's you and I, we will lay boring speeches to rest by giving them the last rites.